All right, so welcome to the moment. My name is Alayna Daniels, and I am the founder of Her Midnight Moments, which is what you guys are going to be experiencing over the next 90 days. So, in the intro text today, I told you guys we have a goal. We'll go over that goal a little bit later in class, but I just wanted to welcome you to the moment. So, yeah, let's get to it. Today, we're going to be going over an introduction to me, a little bit about my background, what the moment is, and then we're going to get into our live co working session. So, hi, my name is Alana Daniels. And if you guys don't know anything about me, I like to consider myself a nice blend of like businesswoman meets feral woman. And I say that because I don't really like to conform to corporate rules, but I really do enjoy a corporate check if I can get it. So I started, I guess, my first like corporate or corporate-ish job was in fitness boutique management, and from there, I just kind of really worked my way into an avenue where I was able to keep my feralness, but not have to sacrifice having money. A lot of times, especially as an artist, as a creative, you kind of get convinced that it's either be a creative or you have to sacrifice your creativity to go out and make money and you have to conform. But I have been able to really find a beautiful blend in both. So yes, I am definitely a sister in Christ to some, a business bestie to others. But no matter what you call me, my mission is to help empower you with the tools and resources you need to make it through and beyond your midnight moment. So once again, I have a background in boutique fitness management, but I also do user experience and user interface design. So a lot of you guys may know me through doing some type of content creation for you, whether it's like by way of graphic design is typically what it is, making flyers, making Instagram posts, and things like that. And I'm actually in school now to accelerate my skills and just expand them basically. So, yes, that's a little bit about me. You guys will get this prezo in the her Midnight Moment School. So if you want to learn and actually read, it is in there. So now let's talk about your midnight moment. Often in life, we find ourselves in these key pivotal moments that truly define the trajectory of our lives. Whether we are embarking on a new journey, starting a new business, learning the new curve of motherhood, or just finding ourselves freshly divorced, there's always a moment that happens for you to take authority, rise up, and rewrite your narrative. As someone who has gone through my own trials and tribulations, I found that the best solution to my chaotic life was to get some structure and some order. And the only time that I could really find the time to do that, that quiet moment was around this time, around like 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Sometimes I would be shutting it down at 3, but that's literally how her midnight moments was created. And I'll kind of show you some of the products and things that I've been able to create off the strength of taking the moment, taking authority in the moment, and having the moment. So, thus, Her Midnight Moments was born a virtual co working community dedicated to helping provide you with resources to thrive and ultimately attain your soft life. And well balancing a career and personal endeavors. So, we'll go over a little bit more about what a soft life means a little later in the game. But yes, just to reinforce what is her midnight moment. So aside from it being like my branding company, I want you to think of her midnight moments as like the feminine version of a dark night of a soul. If you're unfamiliar with that, your dark night of your soul is kind of like hitting a brick wall that you're forced to hit and look at all of the nooks and crannies of what you're doing wrong and all of the nooks and crannies of kind of like the darker part of yourself and really acknowledge it so that you can become a better person. So I feel like that happens in a lot of the masculine sense when we get into things like depression and things of that nature. But for her midnight moment, I feel like it's a feminine process that happens where we hit that kind of same feeling. I don't want to call it rock bottom and I don't want to call it a brick wall, but sometimes as women, we hit this moment where it's like, goodness, what is going on? Like, which way is up, which way is down, and things like that. So that's what this moment is about, is that if you found yourself here, it's not that you're at rock bottom. Don't think of it like that. You're in a pivotal time and you have a pivotal moment to do something. Now, we're going to figure out what that something is along the way, but a couple of key points that we can keep in mind throughout this journey is we'll be focusing on quantum healing. We'll be focusing on steps of actions that we need to take within our lives to align us with where it is we're going in our personal development as well as our business development. And that's going to come with discipline. So that is going to come with showing up. If we have to figure out better times, better days and things like that, we'll do that. But for right now, this is the flow for the next 90 days. Unless we agree that we want to do 8. That's the only kind of change I'm willing to make. But other than that, we expect ourselves to show up and apply the steps that are given because the steps really do work. I don't know how to put it any more plainly than that. We also focus on softness and self worth. Remember, this is more of the feminine aspect of your midnight moment. So instead of being so performative and really conforming to like hustle culture, we focus more on receiving. We focus more on regulating our nervous system and regulating the parts of us that need to come into agreement in order to be who it is that we envision ourselves or who God has called us to be, depending on how you look at it. Which brings me to my next point. We do operate in faith. We may not have the same belief, we may not believe in the same thing, but we do have a knowledge and a gnosis that there is a science to faith. So there is a course in the school that is about the science to faith. We also focus on emotional intelligence. That is something that's going to propel us in our personal endeavors as well as our business endeavors. It's going to be very important that you're able to practice emotional intelligence, especially once we get to that kind of like business side of things. So, yes, we'll be working with that. We'll be working with the wealth mindset. So, going from kind of like scarcity and survival mindset to surplus and abundance. And then, of course, sisterhood, where community is everything. I don't want to say we've all, I'll speak for myself. I have been the person who I can handle a lot and I can do a lot. So you think that you don't need people, but that is a bold-faced lie from the enemy himself. So I just highly encourage you to lean into this sisterhood, invite people, all of that good stuff, because none of us can handle this life alone. It's just impossible. So I'm grateful for each and every one of you guys for showing up. And yeah, so today our co-working focus is going to be all about building. We'll kind of go through some foundational things that you'll need going forward for our 90-day run. The idea is that in the next 90 days we'll generate a business that will generate some type of revenue. Whether that is you want to sell online courses, you want to do ebooks, you want to start an event planning company, whatever it is that you're looking to do, we're going to spend the next 90 days working through different steps in order to create a tangible business that will hopefully, by the end of this, make you some profit. Okay. And then last but not least, don't forget to get your copy of Just Off Life I'm Ready. That is actually going to be in the group chat. That's already in the group chat, which takes me to my next point. When you guys do officially join the school, you get that. I highly recommend it. It's changed my life. I really give a lot of glory to God first, but that book second, because I feel like when you go in and you work it, you are able to really find key points of what's misaligning in your life in order to get into alignment. And I've written it for that very purpose so that you're able to take survey of what's happening in my life, what's going on in my life that's causing me to miss the target, or that's causing me to not fully be where I think I should be by now, or what can I do in order to put me in better alignment if I feel like I'm already in good alignment. So even me, I'll be reworking this book with you guys over the next 90 days just because I know that it had such great results thus far. So, and this is a little preview of the book. So, like I said, it's a workbook. You do things like the Heart Life Identity Check. We'll have a separate class for this. But tell your friends about it. It's $20 on my beacon, which is in my Instagram bio. And I have a physical copy for $50 as well. The physical copy is going to look a little bit different, but yes. Now, let's talk about the school. That'll be the last thing. Where's my time? And then I'll break us into kind of like what we're actually going to be working on today. So, if you guys are in my Bible study group chat, you guys are already familiar with school. But if not, it is a platform where you can kind of come learn. There are different courses that I have for both Her Midnight Moments and Girl and the Sword, and they're pretty resourceful. Something I will be working on in this entire experience is actually building this in front of you all's face. So I highly encourage that if you're interested in selling courses to maybe look at the school platform. Um, we start here. There's an intake form that just helps me better understand where it is that you're trying to get, what it is that you're focusing on, and what you need help with. Help me help you. Then you got your meet me and all of that good stuff that has access to my website. Now, these are going to be things that over the next 90 days, I teach you how to do. This is a Canva website, ladies, and it's only going to be ladies, so I don't have to say gents, but something simple as just a $15 something something can go a long way. I think it's like a $15 subscription that I have, and I get to send these out to all people, who want to book me, work with me, all kind of stuff like that. So, yes, if you want to learn more about me, it's all up in the school as well as my link in bio. And so is that free copy. So, that's all we have to really go over today. As you can see, we have a couple of courses that are already built that you can kind of chew through. Like I was saying, we were talking about the science of faith. Definitely can't wait to get the quantum physics course popping, but let's take a little break. Hmm I'm going to stop my share and I'm going to first open up the floor to see if anybody has any questions about anything we've gone over thus far. Keeping in mind that we are recording. So if you want to come off camera, you totally can, but you don't have to. Just putting that out there.